All right, folks, here we are for another session of Off the Grid. Hey, wanted to welcome my next guest, who is an MC and a producer from the Lone Star State. Got the hat representing. I want to welcome Pudge to the session today. Hey, thank you, brother, for doing this, man. How are you?
Doing great, man. World Series champs. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, man, let's start with just some background on where you were born, where exactly in Texas you call home, and how long you've been doing music.
Yeah, so I was actually born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but I moved
Oh,
to the Dallas, Texas area when I was about 1 year old.
okay.
So as far as all my memories go, yeah, I'm from a place called Denton, which is about 30 miles north of Dallas.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, I spent some time in Killeen for about 3 years, man.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, Texas
yeah,
is a big place. So
yeah. Heck yeah. I know Denton very well, man. Hey, man. So with that, man, before we talk about the music that you've been making, what was your introduction to music? What were your parents listening to back in the day?
man, my mom was like listening to Michael Bolton and stuff. So I
That's
didn't
good
get a
stuff.
lot of inspiration from them. But I'm the youngest of four siblings,
Okay.
and my oldest sister's like 15 years older than me. So I grew up with a lot of hip hop just in the house.
Okay.
And I'm at the perfect age where we had like Eminem and Nelly and 50 Cent and
Right.
all that was like the mainstream hip hop when I was in like middle school. So
Yeah.
that was my first like introduction as like really being a rap fan. And then later in high school, I kind of went backwards and discovered all the classics.
Yeah, do you recall that first hip hop song? Like I remember first hip hop song I heard was like "Me So Horny" by Two Live Crew. But do you recall that first song?
It was probably like Gangster's Paradise or
Yeah.
my first CD that I ever owned as a kid was the Space Jam soundtrack, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
they
Hitting
had
them
a joint
high.
on there. Yeah, Hit 'em High with Be Real and LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes and all that. So uh,
Um,
I, I'll probably give that one credit.
okay, awesome, man. Hey, well, with that, in terms of just developing yourself as an MC from day one into where you're at now, were there any key albums that you thought were very fundamental in just you becoming who you are today? Any of those standout albums that you can remember?
Probably say Lab Cabin, California. That was
Okay, Barca.
I always kind of like had the high pitched voice, so groups like Farside and Cypress Hill, I kind of ended up gravitating towards that. But yeah, I would say Lab Cabin, California is probably it's probably my number one for sure.
Yeah, let me peel back on that comment you just made. So I have a high pitched voice too when I'm rapping, and so when you were rapping, did you like the way that you sound? And I know in general, folks, normally sometimes it takes a second, but I had a tough time getting used to my voice, man. So I don't know if it was similar for you.
Yeah, it's weird. Like looking back, I think it always was fine, like live, like at shows and stuff. But looking
Yeah.
back on those records, like I don't really like the first half of my career. I'd say I don't really like all that stuff. I
Man,
say
it's tough though.
I
Yeah.
say I'd say like anything after 25, I'm more comfortable with my voice. But yeah, looking back, I didn't notice it at the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and so yeah, I just kind of wanted a voice similar to Method Man and just kind of raspy and stuff. But
Yeah,
I got used to it. I listen to all your old stuff, man. I love it, man. So you're always your toughest critic, but I hear you, man.
yeah, I
All right.
appreciate that. Yeah, and like I'm saying, like at shows, like I would always get compliments on my voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as recordings, like it took me a while to once I stopped like trying to scream on every track, I'm much more
Yeah.
happy with how everything is.
No, heck yeah. Hey, that's the progression, man. Hey,
Yeah.
outside of rap, what else do you listen to?
A lot of jazz. Think my favorite artist is probably like Chet Baker or something. It kind of started with me just like finding trying to find samples and stuff. But as I get older and I'm going to hip hop shows like most nights of my life, it's nice to not hear a man yelling at me.
Oh man. Well, hey, so was it rapping or producing first? Which one did you dabble into first?
I was always freestyling. Uh,
Okay.
like when I was younger, being in Texas, it's like we had like Swisher House and all that stuff. Kind of
Right.
the
Yeah.
real big DIY movement. So just playing sports and stuff, I'd always like freestyle on the bus on the way to games and all that.
Nice.
My older brother and his friends actually had started recording music on like Acid Pro, and I was the one in our city that was always kind of like more savvy on the computer.
Okay.
So I thought it was like super cool that they were doing their own recordings and stuff. So I just got into making beats for them. They're all like 5 years older than me, so I kind of figured out how to record everyone and start producing that way. And then, very shortly after that, I got into actually writing and recording with those guys.
Yeah, that's dope, man. And you to this day you do most of the production of your albums, right?
Yeah, I like to work at a real, I like to put out stuff constantly. So that's kind of the way
Yeah.
that I'm able to stay as busy as I would like. Um, I do work with a few producers, but like how that goes when they send you 15 beats, you may only want to use two of them. So as
Yeah.
far as like working at the pace I would like, it's just easier for me to produce everything if I can.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. As I was going through your catalog, man, just tons of singles and albums weren't like skimpy at all, man. They were great in terms of volume of songs, man. And so that's what I noticed, man. So it's good that you can keep up the supply for beats, you know. So that's awesome, man. And
Yeah.
I'm amazed too at the time, man. I'm sure you're a working man, family man, and you still got time to make that much music and still do shows quite frequently, man. It's impressive.
Yeah. Luckily, I was able, when I was younger, I kind of just always worked at this speed, so it's kind of
Yeah.
just all I know at this point. Instead of playing video games or whatever else people do,
Yeah,
making
dude,
kind of took
definitely
place.
prolific, man. And two, it was interesting. I guess the internet has kind of like paved the way for everybody to learn about different hip hop from different parts of the country and world. But it was interesting, man. Your style, man. I love it, man. Deep in lyrics too, and just the delivery is not your traditional Texas style of hip hop too or rap. And so
Right.
I love that, man. And so yeah. And so, do you have a favorite rapper that kind of like not really try to emulate, but you looked up to, and then just kind of shaped your style a little bit going that way as a result of that person's influence?
Um, I don't know. I'm a fan of a lot of different stuff. I will say, in like 2012, I
Okay.
thought Action Bronson was the best rapper at that time.
Oh, nice.
I'm not like I don't have that same energy anymore, but I feel like that was someone I was really into. Like I said earlier, the Far Side,
Yeah.
Be Real. I'm more of a fan of like the energy and like mood of the songs more so than the actual writing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's
Pretty much
great,
like
man.
I tell people like my favorite shit is like MCs from the West Coast that are rapping over East Coast beats.
Dude, that's hey, well said, man. I like that. That's quite accurate of the music I got,
Yeah.
especially listening to call. I felt that's great.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
like I'm real close with all the rec league dudes from San Francisco, so they
Yeah.
played a big part of kind of shaping how I made music when I was like a teenager. So
Yeah, and Cume had mentioned to me that I think he was, I don't know if you guys were looking for shows to do in Cali or he was looking for shows to do in Texas, but you guys connected that way, and you guys have been friends ever since. I know he went out there and performed some shows, and I'm sure y'all been out to Cali too. But
yeah,
do you guys fall under the Rec League umbrella, or you guys just like kind
yeah,
of
definitely.
okay?
All that's a super small world. Like one of my brother's like groomsmen in his wedding actually went to middle school with Cume and Rob and Vince. So,
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
so before I was even making music, I was listening to like the Moonies, which was their like high school
Yeah.
group. Um, and then when I always talk about this with them, when I first started making music, since they were on my radar, I would like reach out to them and send them my stuff, and they would never say anything back. and,
Oh man.
and then like later in life, you know, once I got a little better, Cume found us on MySpace, which
Oh,
once he reached out to me, I was like, yo, we actually know Jonah, and you know, I've been following you guys for a while. And I think after that conversation, they came out to Texas like 2 months after that, and they pretty much took me under their wing. You know,
yeah.
from I think they played at my 19th birthday party, and I'm 35 now, so
Oh
that's been,
man.
that's been the family forever.
Yeah, I love all the connections, man. When the Moonies were rhyming in high school, man, I just got to college, and that's how we connected through the house parties and stuff. And so, man, I love this chain of hip hop, man. It's great.
Yeah, what's funny is so I brought them out, and I was like, man, that was a super good experience. Like, hit it off really well with those dudes. I'm gonna start flying other rappers out, and then, like
Yeah.
just no one else was as cool as them. So kind of
Oh, good people, man, for sure. And Cube's still killing it today, man. I love it.
yep, it's my brother.
Well, good, man. Hey, man, tell me about how you got your MC name. How'd you end up using Pudge? What's the backstory?
Man, so I've been going by Pudge since I was like 3 years old. So
Okay.
like when I was a kid and I could first start talking for whatever reason, I would tell like adults that that was my name. And
So-
yeah, and then I played a lot of baseball growing up. So when I first started rapping, I would like I don't even remember them now, but I had a few different like MC names that I tried to use, and
okay.
everyone in my town was pretty much like, I'm not calling you that, because they had already known me as a rap name essentially. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
figured it
love
was
it. Shouts out nickname. Hey, but so on your tag name on IG, you got Pudgy B Styles. Was B Styles an older name you tried to use, or just um,
that's kind of
from?
just something my brother like has a nickname for everyone in his life. So Pudgy B Styles was something that he had kind of just taken my name and added onto it. So
Nice.
the handle for Pudge is already taken. So that was kind of
Yeah.
something that I could use, and I know that it would be available on every platform.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Hey, do you recall the first moment that you tried to write your rap? Can you just can you go back that far and say, hey, man, I'm gonna try to actually write something and you know.
Yeah, I had a little book. I actually got in trouble. My dad found my book when I was in like there's some nasty shit in there. And he like surprised me. He like told the whole family about it at dinner one night.
Oh shit. That's great, man. But yeah, I mean, he had already known that your brother was rapping anyway, right?
Kind of. I mean, for us, it was always like we kind of hit it because we associated it with like drinking and smoking and
Sure.
being bad. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like something we were actively showing them. And actually, my brothers who I first started doing shows with, and I used to like sneak out of my house to do shows,
Okay.
and I like wasn't telling my parents. I was probably like 16, and then one of the shows they just showed up at it.
Special guest, man.
They're like, like, yo, this is actually really awesome, and you don't have to hide this. So
Oh, that's awesome, man. Very supportive, man.
yeah.
Yeah, they just got to get introduced the right way. Super cool, man. Well, hey, man, what are you listening to nowadays, man? How you enjoying the music scene? I know music just in general. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and you pick what you choose. But any favorites in the music scene these days?
Uh, yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of the East Coast, your old Droog and Crime Apple and West
Yep.
Side Gun and all. For me, it's big production guy. So um,
Okay.
anyone still using samples, and I happen to be listening to mostly New York rap right now.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Is that your production style too? Do you like using a lot of samples, or are you playing stuff? Or I'm a big fan of sampling and chopping it up, but I'm just curious
Yeah,
on what your style was.
that's most of it, but I do produce for like, you know, MCs from Texas that don't have quite the same rap style as me. So
Oh man,
I can do that as, you know, I can make more kind of modern sounding beats.
yeah, yeah,
For the shit I like to rhyme over, that's not really what I'm doing, but
yeah.
yeah, pretty much southern hip hop stuff. I make a lot of that just for some of my friends in town.
Yeah, oh man, I'd love to hear it, man. I'm a big fan of all, man. So super
Yeah.
cool that you got a diverse palette, man.
I just like sampling, man. I like treating it like a big collage. Just
Yeah,
taking sounds from all over it.
super sick, man. And you know what I've observed too is that the scene is pretty nice in your neck of the woods. And so, are you performing mostly in Dallas, or does Denton have a good scene? I know there's a college out there that my cousin went to, and it's quite popping out there. Uh, or are you
Yeah,
going all the way down to Austin?
yeah. I do well in Denton because I grew up here. The hip hop scene itself isn't, you know, there's not a whole lot of events going on. So I try to, as far as in Denton, I try to play like only like 3 or 4 times a year just to keep keep it interesting. So I'm not
Yeah,
overplaying. But I'd say my biggest market right now is in Austin, which is
yeah,
takes me about 3 hours to get there. So it's not too bad, but I'm down there
yeah,
a
yeah,
few times a month at this point. Um,
yeah.
just
Oh man,
Austin and
Austin's great.
yeah, Austin in general, like between the comedy scene and the music, like it's pretty nice place to be right now. So
Yeah, are you rocking? I can't remember. I used to go all the time. Was it Fifth Street? Is that the main that
uh
main street?
yes, like Sixth is the main one, but
Six.
yeah,
That's
there's
right.
stuff on Fourth and Fifth, and yeah,
Okay.
that whole area is nice. And kind of my one of my best friends, Ben Buck, he super dope MC and producer, but he's also a very talented beatboxer. Um, he grew up out there and he does super well. So he's
Yeah.
always looking out for me and providing opportunities for me to play.
That's all. Hey, can you just touch on that real quick? How did you guys meet?
So I'm actually like 10 years older than Ben.
Okay.
He wait, you guys have a song together, right?
Yeah, we do, man. I haven't heard the final song yet, and I'm going through his company to put some tapes together. So
Oh, Speakable. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's quite a bit younger than me. And there used to be like this band that I would rap with. It's kind of like a funk jam band, like super talented jazz guys. So
nice,
every now and then, if I wasn't booked, I would just hop in the van with them and go do
nice.
verses set. And I think Ben was still in high school, and he was one of our openers.
Oh
Um,
man,
and I kind of just like had this feeling. I was like telling everybody when I got home, like, yo, I met this kid. I feel like, we're pretty similar. And I think there's gonna be some sort of relationship developed there. And then like
that's awesome.
happened way faster. Like we became super good friends like 2 months after that and kind of haven't
Fantastic.
not really changed. Kind of kind of help, do what Rec League did for me, and kind of just
Yeah,
introduce them to my people and show all my friends
yeah.
his music and stuff.
Yeah, it's super dope, man. Y'all look like really dope people. Love the mix of music that Texas got. Very diverse, man. Underground, gangster, commercial, Southern style, man. It's just great, man. Great, man. Menu of music to choose from. I enjoyed it. Now, performed a bunch down in the Killeen area, and then in Austin once or twice. But let's go into some of your albums real quick. So, first album that I got into was the Calls album that you released. Yep, this month, still March 11 with 10 songs. And so, man, I enjoyed the heck out of that album, man. What was going on in your mind when you put that album together? Was there a plan or a theme, or just did it start as just one song and you were just collecting them up?
Man, so I won't get into it too much, but last year I had quit. I quit a job that was kind of like weighing me down quite a bit.
Okay.
So that's just a collection of songs that I made, throughout the year. Have a whole lot more time on my hands and mentally in a much better place than I was. So it's
Okay.
kind of more of a fun project.
Yeah.
I put it out because I had a bunch of shows at South by Southwest, so I thought it'd be cool to just have a fresh project to promote while I was out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say I'd credit just me quitting my job to
Yeah.
to
Did you press product too, or is it
what's up?
just a digital release? Did you press hard copies?
I'm gonna do some tapes through Ben,
Yeah.
but yeah, as of now, it's just online for streaming.
Yeah, it's a great, man. I'm there, man, ready to cop that thing when it comes out. But what was the significance of the name Calls, man? Where did that idea come from?
I don't know if you could tell. I had like I'm always like collecting like old commercials and stuff to sample. So I had like
Yeah.
a bunch of those like old phone commercials, and then the theme I kind of like started my own business this year. So like the
Okay.
theme of just like hustling and making calls and just
Ah.
felt very hip hop once I added all the interludes and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
nothing too deep other than
Okay.
making calls. Making calls is dope.
Hey, there you go, man. What you're feeling at the time, and I really enjoyed the mixed media art cover for that project too. Are you the artist too?
Yeah. I at this point I pretty much am doing like everything. So
Nice.
all my artwork, my videos, my engineering, the writing, I've tried to just you know go complete DIY these past few years.
That's great, man. Then, as you mentioned in the beginning of the interview, man, you don't work on anybody's timeline anymore. You do it at your own pace and at your own
Right.
satisfaction. So that's great. And
And I
so
think
does
I
that mean?
saw like a Beastie Boys interview one time where they were like, why wouldn't you make your own art? Like
Yeah,
it's just more rewarding to just take everything in your own hands, I think.
that's a good point. Hey, what about mixing and mastering? Is that something you dive into as well?
Yeah, I that's what my degree is in audio engineering, and that's
Oh,
kind
dang,
of
dope.
that's what I do for work as well, like corporate audiovisual stuff. So
Yeah.
um, the technology aspect of rap is kind of how I make my money as well. So
Oh man,
all the
fantastic.
and I think I was watching in your Mopes interview. It's much cheaper to just do it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome to hear, man. So yeah, you are definitely a walking record label, man. That's
Yeah,
great.
I try to
Yeah.
be. I used to like mix and master other people, but I don't know. I got so sick of just working on all these projects that were
Yeah.
never ever being released or coming out or anything. So
Yeah.
I kind of like stepped away and only work on my own stuff, and it's been like much more profitable just working on my art instead of engineering all this other stuff. And then by the time I get home, I was burnt out on making music. So
Yeah. No, that makes sense because you work on your stuff and you get to a point where you're happy, and then you put that thing out when you're ready, man. So you get that immediate gratification. But you're right, man. There's songs that'll sit for years, right, and it'll be done, and whoo, man,
yeah,
I feel you.
it's not even
I'm
like
guilty.
the money. Like I don't
Right.
care how much I got paid. It's like we spend our time doing this for it
That's
to
right.
just sit on a hard drive. Like never sat right with me.
Yeah, motivational, man. I got my next album that's coming out. Is something that has to do with that. I had a couple singles I couldn't put them into an album for whatever reason, and I was like, man, I just don't want these songs to sit anymore. I want them out. So
Yeah.
so my next album is kind of like mixtape-ish. But yeah, man, that's a great point, man. Thanks for sharing that perspective.
Yeah, I've tried to get to a point where like if I recorded it, like let's put it out.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
It ends up being those ones that I thought were trash that end up being the more popular songs on my catalog. So
Dude, that is a common theme when I interview MCs is never your favorite song or might be the throwaway song, and then it ends up being the song, right? Isn't that wild?
Yeah, yeah. And particularly like the vulnerable tracks, like the serious ones that
Yeah,
maybe kind of sad, and you're kind of like, I don't know, kind of feeling
yeah,
weird about writing it, but that ends up being the one that actually has the replay value. So, um,
yeah. Very emotional, and I mean, true to the heart. And that's funny. I got this guy at work that I got this song that I did. Just I think at the time I was like feeling sorry for myself because I was working like 12 hours a day, and I wrote this song, and that's the
yeah,
song he feels. But yeah, it's wild, man. So I connect with you on that. Hey man, hey, I wanted to go into a couple tracks that I really enjoyed. The first song that I really love is the Let Me Know track. Man, hook was dope. We don't chase the money, we don't chase the hoes, we chase the good times every place we go. Everything is good vibes. That's the way I roll. If you haven't bought the idea, let them know. And so that was what I was like, man, this is what this dude's all about, man. Just having a good time making the music. Try not to be serious. I enjoy the vibe and the message from that track. You want to talk to me about that song real quick?
yeah. That's kind of just like something I've adopted from Cume and the Rec League guys.
Yeah.
When I met them, like I was like, man, these guys are having a good time. So that's kind of
Yeah.
that's kind of like the energy that I share with them.
Okay.
I try to, if I'm at the rap show, like it's gonna be a good night. Um,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna be the biggest cheerleader in the front row. Want everyone to kill
Yeah.
it. So that's kind of just like a mentality that I've kind of adopted from those dudes.
Yeah. I just it doesn't get it's not fun anymore when it gets too serious. But I just thought that was at least my impression of your music as I continue to go down the catalog. I thought, man, this dude's just a fun dude to hang out with,
And,
and just
and
yeah,
that beat is like, I would say that like sums up my sound. I like that classy old jazz strut shit. So um,
yeah. And
yeah,
your
so
beat
that's
choice is good too, man. Like just again, man, as I went through, and you know best what you rhyme over, man. But just I was like, man, I didn't even check who produced this album, man. And then I figured out it was you, and had to confirm. And so I was like, dude, this fucking dude's badass, man. Really
yeah.
good shit.
Someone was giving me shit the other day that they said I never credit my producers. I'm like, bro, if I
Yeah.
didn't if I didn't give you credit, it's because I made it. So
Yeah. Hey man, that's cool. The next song, L's, was another one that I really enjoyed. And again, the lyrics, y'all was taking L's. I'm taking L's to the head. Y'all like to smoke weed. Pudge like to sell it instead. Are you a hustler or customer or something in between? Another day, another dollar that I didn't need, man. And again, just continue with the theme and my impression of you. And again, just great music, man.
yeah,
Anything
that was
special on the track?
that's actually the only one I didn't make the beat for, and I probably made that one like a few days before I submitted it to be distributed. But there's a producer out of Vegas who he got a feature for me for his album that I liked a lot, and
Okay.
he sent me a pack of beats, and I was like, yo, this actually like this specific one fits exactly what I'm working on. So that was
Hmm.
that one snuck in at the last minute.
I love it, man. Heaters. Well, yeah. How long did it take you to put that album together?
So all that I made all those beats. I got the most recent 404,
Okay.
probably in like say September or October.
Yeah.
So all those beats is just me like learning that new machine. So
Yeah.
that's probably about a good 6 months in the works.
Hey, did you make a bunch of songs too that didn't make the cut, or did you just end up using everything that you
Um,
put together?
yeah, there's some that like don't. I tried to keep that one like mostly like jazz samples. So there's
Oh,
a
okay.
few there's a few that I was like working on in the mix that I just dropped as like singles throughout while I was working on that.
Yeah.
So it's not that like they didn't make the cut. It's just aesthetically like
Yeah.
didn't fit the like that specific batch of songs.
Yeah. Sonically, it wasn't in the right place. Well, hey
Yeah.
man, are you and that's a good question, man. The samples that you're pulling, are they now are they all online? I mean, it's so easy to find samples online. Are you still actually digging and and going from place to place trying to find records sometimes.
Yeah, I'm still digging. There's a few spots. I live here downtown in Denton, so there's a few spots that I go to, and I can usually like tell by the year and the cover that I'll be able to find something.
The cover is key, brother. Huh?
Like if it has some like hot lady from the '70s, it's probably fire.
Hey, are the record stores or the places that you're digging at, are they overpriced now, or are you still able to find
Bro,
cheap
they're
records, man? These guys are
so
getting smarter, man.
they're so overpriced now. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's like the same store I grew up digging at, and I could used to like find everything for under $5, but now it's like I think the other day I spent like $30 on something.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I knew it
So
was gonna like I could tell it was gonna be good, and I it's like certain I was gonna find something. But yeah,
yeah,
they're taxing these days.
yeah, yeah. I find that the Goodwill shops are kind of bare these days too. So
Yeah, it's getting crazy. And I do. Do you produce as well?
no, I don't have the patience, man. So I give it up to you guys, man. You guys are
Yeah.
amazing.
So I do use a service called Splice. That's just like a user-based, royalty-free sample thing.
Oh,
Um,
dope.
so I'm getting a lot of like, kicks and snares and stuff from there. But as far as like the like melodies and actual samples I'm chopping, like it's still coming from vinyl.
Sweet, man. Well, hey, it's an amazing project, man. I really enjoyed it thoroughly, and that's definitely gonna get some constant rotation on my radio on the way to work. I got a long ass commute, but hey, other tracks I love, man, was "Sit Boy." I love the no drums, and you just killed it. And then "Fall Into Place" was my other favorite song. So, congratulations on the dope release, brother.
Appreciate that, man. It's good to hear, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, after that, you followed up with a single, "Late Checkout," and so again, I assume you produced that track.
Yep.
Yep. And so, as I'm talking to you, man, and I pulled out a line that I really enjoyed was "a jack of all trades, but would wrap them all in." And I said, man, after you gave me that narrative and you just talked to me about all the things that you do, that makes so much sense now. And so, yeah, I find that really true to who you are. And then just, I enjoy the tequila sunrises and the sunset lately. Play the song "Friday" to me and a lucky lady. It's just good comedy, man. So
I like a
again,
nice,
like
romantic getaway.
anything special about the song as you put that one together?
Nah, I'll get in trouble for that.
Okay.
It's
Hey,
not.
great song, man. And
It's not a
so,
public. It's not a public affair quite
hey,
yet.
okay, to be continued, man. Hey, and so a fantastic catalog. I enjoyed it. Went up and down a bunch of stuff. And what I'm more interested to is the first album that I found in terms of early Pudge was "One of Those Nights" from 2012. A lot of tracks, 17, 18 tracks, I think. And so, was that your first official album?
As a solo artist, so I grew
Okay.
up in a group called Fab Deuce.
Okay.
So you know, we never really like broke up. Everyone's just kind of busy. But at that time
Yeah.
in my life, we had probably done like 3 or 4 records as a group that I had kind of like oversaw all that and didn't make all those beats, but I was the one like putting all those projects together. So I'd had like experience like overseeing albums before, but that was the first one where that I put out just as a solo MC.
Yeah, hey, great man. How often do you go back to your older albums these days, man? You get larger volume, but you ever go back just to kind of revisit where you're at? Where
That one not so much. Um, I don't know anything like before 2018. I'm not really
yeah,
like checking on
yeah,
that stuff too much.
yeah, yeah. You just on to make more things and better things, right?
Yeah, that's
Constantly.
what's weird because when I was like first starting to do shows, I thought like, man, if I'm still, there's no way I'm gonna still be doing this at 30. Like, if
Yeah,
I, if I haven't made it by when I'm 30, I'm done. But like, in hindsight, like that's really when I got good. I think, as far as
yeah.
like music, I'm comfortable like revisiting like anything pre 30. Like, I'm like I didn't know what I was talking about. Like, what the hell?
That's true, man. And yeah, and again, man, just toughest critic, man. But yeah, great, man. I enjoyed that listen too. Son of a G, 16 bars and USB. I really enjoyed that song a lot. So just curious on how often you go back. I think I'm the same way, man. I rarely go back unless somebody brings it up or somebody like tags it on IG. I'm like, oh man. Ooh. But
Yeah, yeah. You know, there's nights if you have a few drinks, like revisiting that stuff's cool, but it's not like
yeah,
some I'm jamming on the way to work. You know.
yeah, definitely. Usually listening to the mixes of a new song, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, hey man, fantastic catalog, lots of singles and lots of albums to go through. One in particular I wanted to point out was the Layover in Charlotte track, man. I know where the sample comes from. I'm a fan, obviously Tupac, right? But Joe sample. But hey man, I love how you kept true to the sample, and the song was just amazing, man. And so any special notes on that track? Because that was one of my favorite songs that you've done.
yeah. I actually wrote that at the Charlotte airport. I find myself like weirdly in a lot of layovers there, so that's when I had a bunch of time to kill, and I had a batch of beats on my phone. So that's just something I'd put together while I was just at the airport drinking Bloody
Yeah,
Marys and kind of not. It was more of a serious song. You know, it's not quite as
yeah,
fun as the rest of my catalog, but
yeah.
I think it's good to have some of those as well. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So great song, and that was where I made it a point. I was like, dude, I gotta just compliment this dude on beat making. But I brought that up early already,
And
man.
that beat, I'd like tried to add more stuff to it, but like you're saying, that sample's so good that it's like
Yeah,
I might have added like a hi hat and like a couple other things, but
yeah,
like the more stuff I tried to do to it, I'm like, that's what are we doing here?
yeah, yeah. And
It's just
so,
my music loop.
yeah, and again, I don't produce, but at some point in my life, I was still like, listening to records and searching for samples. And so when I found that record too, that was one of the only records that I kept in terms of like, I got the records that I collect, but in terms of ones that I found that identified samples, I kept that record. Do you still have that actual record, the Joe sample one?
Yeah, it's in this crate next to me somewhere.
Yeah. Oh no worry. It's that green. Yeah, it's that green cover. Oh, it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, hey, great man. I love that song. And one song we don't have to talk about it, but it was quite funny, man. It was the butt hash song. So.
Oh man, that's actually I hate that that's the one that like the Spotify algorithm has just fallen in love with. Um,
It's probably not a story for this podcast, but I was like, I had to look it up. I was like, I don't even know what this is, man. So,
yeah, there was a old Fox News video about kids doing that drug, and
yeah,
yeah, my friends from work at my old job had like sent me a loop of that dude just saying butt hash, and they're like, "Hey, make a beat out of this."
yeah.
And I didn't even respond, and I sat down, made a beat, wrote the song, and recorded everything that day. And like, really, that was just an inside joke for like
Right.
our Slack channel at work, and that like ends up being the one that Spotify wants to show everyone. It's the
Yeah.
it's the poor man's because I got high.
Oh man. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, this is wait, not what I imagined it to be. So I
It's
thought
like
it was hilarious, man.
like
And it
catchy
was a
and
spoof song.
it's like produced really well. It's just it's not the most accurate representation of what I do, but
Yeah. Hey,
you
no,
know,
hey, man.
where it is.
It's fun, man. So
Yeah.
made me laugh. I got a good chuckle out of it.
Yeah, the Reckley guys thought I should get a Adele the Funky Homo Sapien verse as a feature on that.
Oh man. Hey, so very very hilarious, man. And now I want to jump into some of the live performances, man. You cued in on this a little earlier, but you had a couple performances that you did at South by Southwest. I've attended South by Southwest and performed not at the official one, but the unofficial ones. And then there's a lot of opportunities at the just outside on 6th Street. So got to do that. But it looked like you were on the official lineup, though, right?
Uh, I featured on some of the events, so I got enough
Yeah.
people out
Cool.
there, and I've worked with enough people that if I'm in town, I can usually, find a stage. So
Yeah. How was that, man? It looks super cool. I just love the scene. I don't know what it is 10 years later than I've gone, but I imagine it's still awesome.
yeah, I'd say my favorite show. I actually posted a clip. We had met these dudes from London that they're like a 4 or 5 guy beatboxing crew.
Yeah.
So since Ben's like into him with the beatbox stuff, he was the one that like picked them up from the airport. So we went to one of their shows one night, and then us and them went and watched Slick Rick's show, and drank a bunch of tequila and just really hit it off with those dudes.
Yeah.
So for one of their big events, they had me and Ben like sit in at their set, and that was probably, I'd say that was, as far as like attendance and just overall energy, rapping with those dudes was probably the best one. And then
Yeah.
me and Ben opened for Rascast one night, and then
Awesome.
you know how it is at South by, like sometimes there's 500 people there, sometimes there's 5 people. So I did my
Yeah.
fair share of coffee shops and
Yeah. Oh,
not as
dude.
well attended shows, but like honestly, those small shows, like sometimes I meet my biggest fans at those. So
That's right, dude. Oh man, I loved it, and you make a good point, man. It just the whole city of Austin, man, very accommodating to people that want to perform, and that's what I love. Whether it was 5 people or 500,
yeah,
I loved it, dude. I watched, oh man, Brother Ali, and these were like non-official events, man. Just oh man, I saw Big Crit at Stubbs Barbecue
and
performing.
yeah.
Oh man, it was just crazy, man. I just I couldn't believe like my access to these free shows, and it was wild. So I'm a big fan of South by Southwest, man. I love it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much there to like get as many followers as I can. So
Yeah,
if it's rapping at the coffee shop and I meet 1 or 2 loyal fans, then
victory.
that's a success. I'm not tripping about making $50 or
Yeah, not at all, man. I was just excited to talk to you about it because I've attended in the past and played out there, and so yeah, it's just man, it's hard to explain South by Southwest if you haven't been on like how amazing it is, but
yeah. And
it's
you
great.
see a lot of, I mean, y'all probably don't see it not living in Texas, but I see a lot of people that aren't there like
Yeah.
just hating for no reason, like oh
Oh,
y'all are flexing and bragging about going to rap for other rappers. And it's like, all right, man.
just doing music, brother.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and
Have
I
a good.
used to go. I remember, man. Colleen, I'll dip out and I'll drive out there 8 in the morning, man, and then I'll go home. Like, it was impossible to find a hotel room that was affordable for me at the time. that
Yeah,
that week.
you gotta stay a
Yeah.
little further out that week,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Round Rock or
Yeah. Yeah. And I would just go home, whatever, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning after we got our shows. But man, and that reminds me, I saw the boot camp click out there too, and Kendrick Lamar before he blew up. Oh golly, man, South by Southwest, a lot of fond memories, man.
I
So
saw.
that's awesome, rocking it.
Do you know who Lord Sco is?
I do, man, and I saw the photo that you guys took.
Yeah, yeah. There was like it was a show. It was like Static Selecta, Jazzy Jeff, Scratch Bastard, and Lord Sco. That was
Bananas.
I didn't play at that one, but I was there as a spectator. That show was awesome.
Oh man, fantastic, man. And again, the access, man. You met him, you met him
Yeah,
there, and that was great.
yeah. We were hanging, bro. Him and Ben. Ben was like bumming Newports from him and shit.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, man. One question I had already queued up here was you're tied to Rec League Records, so obviously you guys are family, man, good friends.
Yeah.
Cume, I know, is probably the dude you have the strongest tie with. Are you tight with any of the other guys too, or is it mostly Cume?
Yeah, really. I mean, really everyone, because there was an era when they were all still doing shows where I'm in a
Okay,
fortunate place in Denton where all the venues love me, so I'm always able to facilitate events. So when they were
nice.
doing like the crew shows, I was bringing the whole group out. Um,
Yeah,
but I'd say the three that originally came out, for the first time I met them was Cume and Rob Rush and Richie Cunning. So
oh yeah. Oh man. All great guys, man.
I'm in super close with all them. But I'd say as far
Yeah.
as like in my day-to-day life, like I talk to like Cume and Rob probably every week. So
Okay.
I'd say those two are the ones that I'm closest with. Me and Rob have a lot in common as far as kind of on the same DIY train. Like Rob taught me a lot about just hip hop in general when I was younger. So that's
Yeah.
that's my guy forever.
Yeah, man, that's the fan, man. So that's great, man. I love it, man. Good circle, good network of people, man.
Like Richie
Um,
Cool's like the probably one of my top five MCs ever. So it's
yeah, yeah.
cool to
He
be able to
came.
know him as a friend too.
That's amazing, man. Well, hey, man. Hey, what motivates you to still do music, man? Working man and family man. A lot of stuff going on. How do you find the inspiration to do it? I know you're not into the money. What
Man,
keeps you moving?
uh, a lot of it is just a habit, but I don't know. I've tried to stop, and that definitely doesn't work. So
True statement.
yeah. Whenever I catch like uh, my life tumbling out of control, a lot of times it's like, man, I just need to make some music, and that ends up like fixing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
great, man.
not
I'm
so
glad you're still doing it.
not so much therapy. It's just like it's good to have something to do with your time when you're not. I don't know. You know
Yeah,
how.
absolutely, man. Hey, do you like to write with a beat or without?
Um, I do both. Uh, I love like these days we have computers in our pocket, so I can always take notes and write bars here and there. But
Yeah.
a lot of times for me, I have the beat like I have like a handful of beats that I know that I want to write to, so I can kind of like write to those without actually listening to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
know like I always have like a few different moods of songs that I'm working on at the time. So um,
yeah.
yeah, I'd say both. Like I could do the thing where we meet up with MCs and write at 16 on the spot. Like I can do that, but for me, it works better if I kind of space it out. You know,
Yeah,
spend a few days with it. Um,
sure.
so yeah, both options really.
Cool, man. Hey, just with the volume of your music, and now that I know you do both, man, do you have a preference between rapping or producing? I can't tell anymore now, but
Um, I don't know. I love like doing shows and entertaining, so
okay.
I'd say probably the rapping.
Yeah. All right.
I
Well,
like
hey, man.
I do like producing because I can do it whenever I'm not, feeling like a rapper. It's like a
Yeah,
way to still be creative without having to turn my rapper switch on.
yeah. It depends, I guess, on the mood.
Yeah,
So,
and
but
I've made more money as a producer as far as like
yeah,
landing. There's a bigger group out of Chicago that I've produced for that I try to land stuff with them because it's
okay.
good for my distro kit account. So
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Hey, well, with that, hey, let's move into the fun, lighthearted portion of the interview, man. I got some random questions I want to ask you. And, hey, man, let's see how it goes. First one's a softball, man. What's your favorite comedy movie of all time?
comedy movie, Dirty Work.
Okay. All right, man. All right. Hey, I feel like gambling. Are we going to Thackerville, Oklahoma for some WinStar action, or are we going to Shreveport?
Bro, it's crazy you said that. We're going to Shreveport. We're going to Shreveport because the liquor's free. But actually, I'm the cameraman for all the concerts at WinStar.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Because
Dude, that's dope.
in Denton, that's only 40 minutes. So
Yeah.
all the big concerts there, I actually film those. So
Yeah,
it's my
I watched the concert out there. It's fucking expensive to stay there, I think, when I tried to out there. But
yeah, yeah.
man,
It's
hey,
amazing.
that's great, man.
But yeah,
Hey, straight.
Shreveport, we can get there in 4 hours, and like you're on the boat, the liquor's free. So
I love
as
it.
far as having a good time, I like to go out there more.
Yeah, do they still got $5 blackjack out there?
In Shreveport,
Yeah, probably not.
I'm sure it's been a while.
Well, good. Hey, enjoy, man.
That
Well,
used to be like our like spur of the moment, like we'd be at the bar and someone's like, Shreveport? And we just hop in,
I love.
make a weekend of it.
Super dope, man. Yeah, it takes me back, man, to living in Texas. I had a good time living out there. Well, hey, man, I'm hungry as fuck. Where are we going? Rudy's Barbecue or Stubbs Barbecue?
Stubbs for sure.
Really? Okay. All right. Good.
Babe's Chicken is the real spot, but I don't.
Oh, I haven't had that.
It's like all you can eat fried chicken, unlimited sides.
Damn.
BYOB. Shit's crazy.
Man. Yeah, Rudy's I miss, man. It was just like a gas station with awesome barbecue.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
I used to go get gas and get those breakfast brisket tacos. I was doing that all the time.
All right, man. Hey, so obviously you're a Rangers fan. You got the hat on. Which Texas Ranger do you like better, Nolan Ryan or Pudge Rodriguez?
Got to go Pudge, baby.
All right.
But Nolan's the legend. He's got the headlock, beating up Robin Ventura shot.
Yeah.
Actually, the steaks that I buy from the grocery store, Nolan Ryan brand. That boy.
Yeah, I'm a big Nolan Ryan fan. Hey, they're gonna do a movie about Pudge, man. So who plays Pudge? Who do you pick to play Pudge in the movie?
Damn. I don't even know. I'm not too hip to like famous young Puerto Rican guys, so I'll let the experts decide.
Well, when's the last time you've been out to the West Coast?
A couple months ago, actually.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I messaged you about this, but I was out there, and my sister lives next door to a reggae band, and one night I like snuck over there and went drinking with those dudes, and we were at some house, and I was like eating mushrooms with this one of their roommates or something, and he's like trying to put me onto some hip hop, and he actually played you and Genelex music.
Oh shit!
And I was like, whoa. I was like, my friends rap with those guys. This was in Corona, California, like Los Angeles area.
Holy cow! I think you mentioned to me. Just crazy to hear, man. Wow.
Yeah, it was random as hell. He was like, that was like the first thing. He's like, oh, you do hip hop? Like, he's like, have you heard of Memphis Reigns? I was like, weirdly, yeah. Those are my friends' friends.
Hey, friends now, man.
Yeah.
So super cool.
And I knew Genelec because him and Richie had a song together.
That's right. If 6 was 9.
Yep. So
yeah. Hey, so when you were out in the West, did you ever eat In-N-Out Burger at all? You tried that?
Yeah, we actually got that in Texas now too. I will say it tastes better in Cali though.
Okay. Well, that was my next question, man. Are you having Whataburger or In-N-Out?
I'm gonna say In-N-Out during the day, but the Whataburger breakfast taquitos are on point. But
all right,
as far as burgers go, I'm gonna go In-N-Out.
All right. Hey, well, with that, hey, thank you, man. You got an amazing catalog, man. I'm a fan. I love your music. I love your beats, your raps, and I'm glad we're in the same network of people, man. It's great. Honored to get into your catalog. I look forward to following all the music that you're going to be doing from now until then. But any special projects that you want to talk to folks about before we close out?
Man, another one we didn't really touch on is the 3 Nights in Vegas album.
Okay.
Which I'd recommend checking out. That one is me and a producer and an MC. We took a bunch of our friends out to Las Vegas and made an entire project in 3 days.
Oh shit, dope.
All the beats, all the rhymes, no re-records when we got back. Just captured that experience. That came out last year, so if you're gonna check out my shit, I'm pretty proud of that one as well. So other than that, plenty of more stuff in the works.
Yeah, I love it, man. So hey, what's the best place for folks to find your music? Where do you want them to go?
Pudgehub.com.
Okay, you got it, man. And
one of the more popular hubs.
P-Hub, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, with that, anybody you want to shout out before we close this interview?
Nah, man. Shout out Rec League. Shout out you guys. Appreciate everything y'all do out west. Love to come out there. So
Yeah, anytime. I'm up in Hawaii. You come out to the islands anytime.
yeah.
Well, hey, brother, take care. Thank you again. Honored to do a deep dive, and I look forward to sharing this interview. Have a good weekend.
Thanks for what you're doing, brother.
Yes, sir.